Hi there, and welcome to another Sunny Days podcast. I'm your host, Jolly, and today we've got some uplifting stories, some did you know, and more. So grab a cup of sunshine and let's get started. First up today, well, a wonderful young man named Chris. Nick, Nikic. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He's a young man with Down syndrome who made history back in November 2020 by becoming the first person with Down syndrome to complete an Ironman triathlon. The Ironman is one of the most grueling endurance races in the world, consisting of a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and a 26.2-mile marathon run, all of which must be completed in under 17 hours. Chris's journey wasn't easy. He had to overcome numerous physical and mental challenges. Training tirelessly for months, his mantra was simple yet powerful: 1% better every day. By focusing on incremental improvements, Chris not only achieved his goal, but also inspired millions around the world. His story is proof to the power of determination, perseverance, and the belief that anything is possible, no matter the obstacles. Chris Nick shows that with hard work, support, a positive mindset, we can overcome even the most daunting challenges and achieve extraordinary things. Thank you, Chris, for being such a great role model for so many others. And now, a sunny day shout out to Ruby, a shelter dog. A shelter dog with a rather troubled past was almost euthanized due to a behavioral issue. However, a dedicated state trooper named Dan O'Neill saw potential in her and decided to give her a second chance by training her as a canine search and rescue dog. Despite her rough start, Ruby excelled in her new role, thanks to the love and patience of her handler. Years later, Ruby's training paid off in an extraordinary way. While on a search and rescue mission, Ruby found a missing teenage boy who had been lost in the woods for over 24 hours. Remarkably, the boy turned out to be the son of the very shelter volunteer who had advocated for Ruby's adoption and saved her from being put down. This incredible story highlights the profound impact of second chances, both for our fur babies and animals and humans. Ruby not only found her purpose, but also saved a life, making her a true hero. Yeah, way to go, Ruby. And now, how about a Jolly Chat story time in a story we'll call A Horrific Friendship? In a countryside town, surrounded by green fields, there is a special retirement center for dogs who had dedicated their lives to serving others. And this was no ordinary place. It was a sanctuary for retired service animals, where their years of loyalty and bravery were rewarded with endless days of love and care. Among the residents were two particularly notable fur baby dogs: Max, a charming golden retriever who had spent his life as a service dog for a young boy with autism, and Rex, a courageous German shepherd who had served as a canine officer known for his bravery in the police department. Max had a gentle demeanor and a knack for making everyone around him smile. He was loved by the staff and other dogs alike for his calm and affectionate nature. Max's days as a service dog had been filled with tasks like alerting his owner to seizures and providing emotional support during difficult times. Now in retirement, Max still found joy in helping others, often nudging a ball towards a newer, more anxious resident, or laying his head on the lap of a visitor who seemed to need a little bit of extra comfort. Rex, on the other hand, he had a storied past filled with high-speed chases and crime solving. His sharp instincts and the fearlessness had made him a hero in the police force. But beneath his tough exterior, Rex had a soft spot for his fellow dogs and quickly bonded with Max. The two were an unlikely pair, one with a past of calm service and the other with intense action, but they balanced each other out so perfectly. Every morning they would stroll together through this center's expansive garden. Max trotting gracefully beside Rex, who always walked with a confident, purposeful stride. They became inseparable, sharing their meals, naps, and even their toys. Max would often bring Rex his favorite squeaky toy, and in return, Rex would stand guard over Max during the thunderstorms, knowing how his friend disliked the loud noises. The staff at the center adored watching their bond grow. Max's charm and Rex's bravery created a dynamic that brought joy not just to each other, but to everyone around them. Their days were filled with gentle adventures, like exploring the woods around the center, splashing in the nearby creek, and chasing butterflies in the meadow. Even in retirement, both Max and Rex continued to fulfill their natural instincts to protect and care. Max's gentle nature helped soothe the nerves of new arrivals, while Rex's presence reassured them that they were safe. Together, they turned the retirement center into not just a place of rest, but a home filled with love, laughter, and endless joy. Their story spread throughout the community, and soon people from nearby towns would visit just to see these two retired heroes. Max and Rex had spent their lives serving others, and now, in their golden years, they continued to bring happiness and comfort, providing that even in retirement, proving that even in retirement, they were still making the world a better place, one wagtail at a time. And now, how about some did you know fun facts about the month of September? Well, the origin of the name, September, comes from the Latin word septem, meaning seven. Originally, it was the seventh month in the Roman calendar before January and February were added. And did you know about the autumn equinox? In the northern hemisphere, September usually marks the start of fall with the autumn equinox, when day and night are nearly equal in length. And how about, did you know about the birthstone and the flower? Well, the birthstone of September is the sapphire. It symbolizes wisdom and protection. And the birth flowers are the aster and the morning glory, representing love and affection. Both so beautiful, aren't they? It's also International Literacy Day during the month of September on the 8th. This day emphasizes the importance of literacy to individuals, communities, and societies worldwide. It's also National Honey Month. In the United States, September is recognized as National Honey Month, celebrating the importance of honeybees and the honey productions. And one last fact, did you know September is tied with December as the month with the longest name, containing 9 letters? Well, there's a few fun facts that add a bit of charm to this already vibrant and terrific month. Fall's almost here. And in the world of viewing shows, well, let's see, we've got some friendly shows coming out in our entertainment news this week in September. September the 1st, it's already out. Lego Ninjago, Dragons Rising. This animated series continues the adventures of ninja heroes protecting their world from various threats. Out on Disney, Lego Star Wars, Rebuild the Galaxy. It's just recently released, September the 13th, a fun animated Lego adventure set in the Star Wars universe. Ideal, it says, for kids and adults who love the franchise. Awesomeness. And then on Hulu, looks like Bob's Burgers is starting its 15th season. It will be coming up September the 30th. It is a comedic animated series about a quirky family running a small town burger joint. And it is suggested for older children and teens. Also in September, some new shows and movies and specials about to hit are Netflix is The Perfect Couple. They will be airing September the 5th, a live action series based on the novel. Also coming out, or just came out, September the 13th, Ugly, a Netflix original movie based on a dystopian novel. In Disney, coming out will be Lego Star Wars, Rebuild the Galaxy as well. It's a new Lego Star Adventures that will be hitting the Disney. All right, also out is on Hulu. Excuse me about that. Hulu, Tell Me Lies, season 2 will be out, already out, I'm sorry, September the 4th. A continuation of the dark and twisty relationship drama. Also coming out on Hulu, just released, I'm sorry, How to Die Alone, a new dark comedy series that blends humor with existential themes. I got some serious stuff coming out there. And let's see, one last thing. Just released September the 8th, The Penguin on Cinemax, the highly anticipated series continuing the world of Matt Reeves, the Batman, with Colin Farrell reprising his role as the iconic villain. And now in the music world. And this week in music, let's do a little bit of a review about, the history of rock and roll. Rock and roll is a genre of popular music that originated in the United States in the 1940s and the early 1950s. But it goes back even a little further than that. The roots go back to maybe even earlier, but the 1920s and the 1940s. The rock and roll can be traced back to the blues, which originated in the African American communities in the deep south of the United States in the late 19th century. Artists like Robert Johnson and Muddy Waters were instrumental in developing the blues sound, which featured strong rhythms, simple melodies, and emotional lyrics. At the same time, country music was developing in the rural South, characterized by its use of string instruments and storytelling lyrics. These genres laid the foundation for rock and roll by merging their sounds in a way that appealed to a much broader audience. The term rock and roll itself was popularized a lot by DJ Alan Freed in the early 1950s, who used to describe the up-tempo R&B records he played on his Cleveland radio show. The genre exploded into the mainstream with artists like Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Fats Domino, who brought the raw energy of R&B to a wider audience. Chuck Berry's Maybelline, 1955, is often cited as one of the first rock and roll songs with its driving beat and guitar riffs that would define the genre. And then there's Elvis Presley, known as the king of rock and roll, he became the face of the genre. His style blended country with rhythm and blues. His performances, marked by charismatic stage presence and controversial dance moves, captured the youth's imagination. Songs like Heartbreak Hotel and Hound Dog helped propel rock and roll into the cultural mainstream, symbolizing the rebellious spirit of this post-war generation. And then there's the 1960s and beyond. The 1960s saw rock and roll evolve into rock music with the British invasion, led by the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, bringing the genre to a global audience. The music became more instrumental, incorporating elements from various genres, including folk, blues, and later psychedelic music. The rise of the bands like Led Zeppelin and The Who in the late 1960s and early 1970s introduced a heavier sound that would lead to the development of hard rock, heavy metal. Rock and roll not only transformed the music industry, but also played a significant role in shaping cultural and social attitudes, especially concerning race, youth rebellion, and the freedom of expression. Its influence can be seen in numerous genres that followed, from punk rock to hip hop, and it remains a powerful force in music today. Rock and roll's legacy is evident in its continued celebration, with numerous halls of fame, documentaries, tribute acts, keeping the spirit of this revolutionary genre alive. And now, as we come to the close of today's episode, let's remember that the stories we've shared can serve as a reminder of the goodness that surrounds us every day. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So find your beauty, shine, and share it. Remember to spread love, joy, and positivity whenever and wherever you go. We'll see you next week for more stories, entertainment news, and fun facts. Until then, peace and love always. And thank you for tuning in to the Sunny Daze podcast.